Hey, this is Mark, creator of the Dirt Locker, and we are here today to introduce our newly designed mini Dirt Locker. And what's different about this Dirt Locker is that with the Mini previously, we required J-hooks to be placed with the units. Well, in this one, we've put small holes here, openings, so that we can use only garden stakes that come with the unit. So no longer will you have to order J-hooks separately. When you order the mini lockers, the stakes come with it, so no fuss, no muss, you can get right to work. It's a way to bring down the price because the J-hooks are so much heavier, and really they're just way over engineered for this smaller product. Also, it's a lot more convenient just dealing with these stakes as opposed to the J-hooks. So, as with any Dirt Locker product and project, you start by measuring the slope, and this slope happens to be 35 degrees, and the area. So we only have a couple of feet below this fence opening, and we have 16 feet in width, so we're going to go down, we're going to go across 16 feet, and we're going to go down about 2 feet, and each one of the minis is set to 1 foot opening. What we've done so far is we've weed-eated the slope, we've graded it a little bit with our rake and made it nice and smooth so that the system is smooth. We've also picked out and chosen to get a couple of plants that, one, will add a little bit of color when this opening is, when the gate is opened up. Also, these plants happen to be unwelcome by rodents such as rabbits and gophers and so forth. It's an ornamental garlic, so we're going to have those here as a little shield. And then in putting the mini lockers here, we're also going to stop the erosion that is coming off of the back of this flower bed. When it erodes, what happens is rodents, rabbits and so forth can get inside and eat all the strawberry plants and the kale and all the other stuff that's growing inside here. So we're going to put those in place. We've done our prep work, we've done our measuring, we've got the mini lockers, so we'll just start installing, and we'll just show you how much easier it is. Now, just in the event that these are going to come with 9-inch stakes, and in the event that maybe you're working with particularly soft sand, we are going to allow an option for a 12-inch stake that should solve any problems you might have with these, because these are so much smaller than the Dirt Lockers. They contain roughly 1/4 the amount of area and about 1/8 the amount of soil. So it's really a very significant reduction in volume, weight, and so forth that you're dealing with the minis. And that's why they also make a nice border garden and can fill in a small area like this easily. The mini Dirt Lockers should be placed at a width of 12 inches. This width gives each unit a nice round shape and adds strength, similar to the way an arch distributes weight and pressure evenly. To ensure accuracy, we measured 12-inch increments and marked them along our metal gate track. This gives us a clear and consistent guide for placing the wooden stakes. Once I hammer the stakes in, we are off to the races, ready to start installing the Dirt Lockers quickly and efficiently. I begin by connecting the first row of the mini Dirt Lockers. Notice that no special tools or fasteners are required to join them together, just a simple insert and twist. Once all of the units are connected, I hook them over the temporary wooden stakes that I've positioned along the slope. These wooden stakes are used solely to help me evenly space and align the first row of Dirt Lockers. You can use any type of landscaping stake for this step. Now I'm securing each Dirt Locker to the ground using the provided metal garden stakes. I insert them through the 2 designated holes at the base of each unit. These stakes lock the Dirt Lockers firmly in place, keeping them stable and holding their circular shape. By the way, when I showed this video to the Dirt Locker team, they pointed out that I had used the term garden stakes for what we call on our website garden pins. They're also referred to as garden staples at retailers. Either way, they come free with your Dirt Lockers, and just wanted to apologize for any confusion. We had put these stakes in every 12-inch increments that we had pre-measured and marked off on our beam here. However, when we got to this location, two of these locations, we have some of the foundation for the fence here, and we couldn't get the stake in there, which also means that we may not, and it looks like to be the case, be able to get even our garden stake here, just because of how far down that concrete is coming from the placement of the foundation. So here, or the footing rather. So what we have two options. One, which I'm going to use here, is to actually use the opening at the top, just like we used to use for the J-hooks, and we'll put that there. We'll put a stake there, and we're still having some problems. So what we can also do is come from the back of the dirt locker and sort of angle the garden stake down slope to avoid that that concrete footing, and voila, we have got a solution. So we need to do that on all of these because of that concrete footing there. So we'll do the same thing on this one as well. So we do have options with these. We've got two prongs in the ground, which I also like, but we still have this opening if we need it for some reason. And we have these holes here, and what I like about that is that these also help, you know, hold the not just the dirt locker in place, but also the shape of the dirt locker itself. So it can help better ensure success and longevity of the dirt locker system. And once we get these in place, we'll fill these units up with soil and get them planted. All right, we showed you what to do when we have an obstacle. We can angle the garden stakes, we can use the holes as designed, but we can also use the back opening, the cell slot of the mini locker. Now, typically, and this is how it's normally designed, is we're going to use these holes that are designed for the garden stakes on the front of the dirt locker, and you can approach these either from the back or the front. I just chose to approach it from the front here. A lot of times you won't even need stakes, but I'm sorry, need to use a hammer, but in this case it's nice to have one nearby, because in this clay soil we still can, you know, run into a couple of stubborn spots. Now we're at the end of the system, and I've got my felt marking up here showing me 1 foot width. So I'm going to come through with my stake here. And there we are. So I've got a couple extra stakes, and I'm going to use them just to sort of secure this end unit, just to keep it. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove my stakes. Okay, so we put the garden stakes in, and remember we have a couple of different options. We can use the back opening of the locker itself. We can also use these. These are the holes on the front are the preferred area, but in the cases where maybe you have a big rock or something like that, you can use the back. Also, a couple of things about the design. We talked about that and how much better it holds, but also the curve on the bottom hugs the slope better, so it's less likely to create a gap and leak or anything like that. And also, if you notice, there's no center slot, and the reason for that is since each one of these has 2 garden stakes per. We didn't see the need to network them, so these will be put in separate rows. As we mentioned, we're going to do separate rows of these mini lockers. We want to make sure that the maximum distance between rows is 3 inches. So we're just going to use a 2x4, and I'm going to stand it right side up, and we're going to use that for our spacer. Again, we're not building airplanes here, so we have some tolerance to work with. The other thing I wanted to point out is that I've sort of set up all of my lockers and my garden stakes in the lockers above, just to make it easier, and also that I'm not going to be chaining them together. I'm going to be doing them one at a time, just because sometimes that just works out a little bit. I don't know, sometimes it feels more convenient. I don't know if it is or not. So we'll start here, our end piece there, and we're going to just go from center to center of the row above. We're going to put our next garden stakes in place. And if you noticed on that first locker, I did use the end opening. Just nothing critical. I'm still going to put another stake there at that end, but just to be a little bit annoyingly extra secure, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to just keep this pattern going. And the one thing I like about these minis is there's a lot more forgiveness in them, in that you notice I'm able to just almost eyeball everything. I mean, we did measure the distance between them and all, but as far as this assembly and going to the second row, we are using a spacer, and we did put that spacer in place. Now with these basic techniques of using the 2x4 as a spacer and lining up the ends of each of the mini dirt lockers with the center of the dirt locker above, I can easily and quickly place each dirt locker, stake it down with the included garden stakes, and finish out the second row. All that's left now is to fill with soil. So we'll get that going. Well, fill with soil and plant. And again, I mentioned we put in that ornamental garlic, which is also very drought tolerant. So we have that going for us. So we're actually not going to sprinkle this. I'm going to hose it down, and then, from time to time, if it looks like it's getting stressed, then I'll put a little water on it. But for the most part, shouldn't need additional water. Here, I'm placing soil directly into the mini dirt lockers. Notice how they stay firmly in place. The garden stakes hold them down and maintain their shape. Keeping the dirt lockers evenly shaped and filled to the top will help extend their lifespan. Now comes the fun part, planting. I'm spacing the plants evenly between the dirt lockers. Once the roots grow deep into the hillside, they'll fully stabilize the top section of this hill, preventing water and soil erosion. Plus, my choice of plants will help block rodents out from raiding my edible plants while adding some color to the garden. Okay, so we have installed our mini dirt lockers. We filled them with soil. We used up 4 bags of 2 cubic foot of soil, 2 cubic feet per bag of soil. So a total of 8 cubic feet went into these lockers. Now we're watering them in. As I mentioned earlier, these plants are very drought tolerant. We're not going to irrigate this system. We're going to just water it in, and we will water it while it's getting established, because it does require that, because it's filling out the new space. Also, if you notice, when I was adding the soil, the surface of the hillside is quite a bit firmer than the soil we added. Watering it in really good will also loosen that up a little bit and allow those roots to start to go downwards. So we're going to just keep going along and soak it really good. Even though we were only able to use a small portion of this hillside, we were able to solve multiple problems when we converted this eroding eyesore into a beautiful, colorful garden. Not only does it stop erosion, but it also helps deter rodents. And we were able to accomplish all of this in under 2 hours. If this video has inspired you to reclaim your hillside and turn it into a beautiful, functional space, be sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we release new videos. If you'd like to purchase the new mini dirt lockers, visit our website or give us a call. We're happy to help you get started on your hillside project. As we finish up our mini dirt locker garden today, we'd like to hear from you. So please, if you have any comments or questions, put them in the comment section and we will get back to you. Thank you for watching our video.